Good morning. I wanted to speak this morning about this beautiful space in my heart of brotherhood that I just experienced. Someone, a man, reached out and we agreed to have this beautiful conversation. It was intended to be a coaching call, but I felt there was so much more that was going to be shared. We sat and had this beautiful discussion for almost 50 minutes of his experience and my experience and how different it was from the experience of societal norms of other men, of our interaction with women in trying to connect, maybe call it dating. I think it's much more than dating, but of us carrying this new energy. Almost want to cry, but this new loving energy for the feminine that makes them curious and hopeful and maybe a bit scared of having experiences where we connect with a woman and it progresses very rapidly to a deep heart connection, and it can even go to the point of sexuality developing or deep intimacy where we're fully embodying at a body level this new divine masculine, this holding space, this being able to hug and hold and allow a woman to surrender in the moment with us because of the work we've done and the cleaning up and the purification we've done inside of ourselves, and then having experiences where they overthink and by the next day they ghost us or walk away without a word, without even an expression, where such incredible depth was held, and then some shame program or old trauma or other things come in and they talk themselves out of it. This seems to be an experience I'm seeing with a lot of men I talk to, where the intense energy of love and of vulnerability and of depth that we have as men allows this opening, this transformation, this opening of the flower that maybe wasn't experienced. And it's, some might describe it as intoxicating, even for us as the men. It's this beautiful depth and loving intention and ability to talk about anything, of feeling giddy sometimes, that's part of this new exchange that's going on as the divine masculine and men that are doing the work are more and more in their heart and more of their vulnerability. This new container opens up to the divine feminine as an invitation to surrender into being relaxed and being safe in our arms, and feeling the alchemy in our words, in our depth, in our sharing, which creates this like alchemical process that's part of the opening and purification that's going on. But it's not something that's talked about, so it can feel scary. It feels like something's going on and you're part of a process that maybe you don't have control over, and the man is just filling his role and being strong and hugging and and listening and other things. But it's so new maybe they question, I don't know the reasons, but maybe they question that we're using some kind of spell on them, or something. But this is the new divine masculine stepping forward and just being, and being in intensity. And I just want to mention that we have feelings too, and it kind of smashes us sometimes when we share this depth, and then that kind of ghosting feeling, or whatever, where they don't respond, or they smash us afterwards, or project on us that we're doing something, or they're not happy with it because they're scared, and we're scared too. But this is something that's growing in the masculine, and it needs to be spoke of, and that's why I'm doing this video while the energies are still really strong in me, and we're wanting to be these things, but at the same time, women are tearing it apart. The women that aren't receiving it, let's say, one idea I believe is happening is a woman might share this with a friend that doesn't have that same experience, and this friend, from their trauma or whatever, they might tear it apart and project on it, so that, because they're maybe angry, they're not receiving that themselves. And the greatest disservice that can happen is to not trust what's in our heart, to try and share it with other people, and then have those other people shame it, or they weren't there, they couldn't feel that energy, or maybe they're feeling the energy, but they wanted it for themselves, or they wanted to take it, or because they can't have it, you can't have it. It's the only explanation I can see that's going on, and I see it in Facebook posts and the way women talk to each other, and stuff like this. So some that aren't ready are blocking those that are ready, I'm finding. And I'm telling you here right now, there's a small percentage of men that are in this really deep space, this deep container of loving integrity, to try and give to the divine feminine, to women, what they want, and in such a deep and vulnerable way that's not hard. It's not like grabbing and forcing. It's like an invitation that a man makes. And it takes a lot of courage to give that invitation in a world that kind of beats us down, or shames us for being open-hearted, or shames us for wanting more, or to want to be sexual or intimate. Um, but we're riding on this like knife edge of potential judgment, and we have to have an open heart, but in some ways also a hard skin that accepts this ghosting, or the commentary sometimes that we're too much, or we're too direct, or we're too whatever, and we're just trying to find our way, and we're trying not to judge the things. We're growing from experiences where we've had issues as we grew up with our mother, with past relationships, with divorces, etc. We all have those same wounds, but these men are risen above them and are willing to open their heart again in this way that's never been maybe done for them before. And it's a lonely path. There's so few men that are talking about it. And we get tested over and over and over again. And we have nobody to talk to about it. We have nobody to explain that we just love this person. We just felt this rush of energy, and we wanted to embody it so that we both could have a deeper experience. And as we get more and more courage in this, we can maybe hold the woman a little stronger. But when it's beginning right now and it's tentative, how do you learn this? How do you shape it? How do you feel confidence in it? And I saw this reflected from another man, and I know there's other men that are doing it, and it's terrifying some days. We've been rejected. We've been told we're not enough. We've been told we're not worthy. We've been told we're too direct, we're too sexual, we're too whatever, and over and over again, we're just going with what's in our heart and our truth and our honesty. And yeah, maybe some of them are wounds, maybe some of them, but how do you work those out without having somebody that's going through the same and can be vulnerable, and you can talk with them and you can say, okay, I'm feeling this. Is this my lack or is this my whatever? And having a reflection from that person. So there's new groups of men that are starting to form and collect to discuss this new way of being. And it's not your traditional men's groups. It's not these hardened rebel biker kind of guys or whatever that supposedly is so wanted. These are people that are massively self-aware, and these are people that are massively in their emotion and their freedom in their body. And we have feelings. We don't turn them off, and we're going to express them, and we may be direct on them and this kind of stuff. But this is all part of the building of the trust of the feminine and the masculine. The woman has to feel safe to talk about her stuff and her shames and her wounds, and at the same time trust that a man may have them too. But to believe that this man shows up completely purified and healed, and it's not a two-way process, is letting us both down. Um, those doors have to be opened. We have to trust that that person is trying their best, and from both sides, because everybody's going to have little breakdowns or wounds show up or whatever. So the new men are here, and if women aren't feeling they are, then they're not seeing, or they're sitting in a societal shame or whatever. We're doing our best. I say this in some of my videos. Sometimes we need an invitation to come in, that you're ready, because our reading of women and stuff is still maybe a little bit off, and we still don't know the ones that are gonna work with us and walk through this purification process of both, versus the women that maybe still have a lot of wounds and those kind of things. So we're trying to figure this out, but we need some hints sometimes from the woman. And if it doesn't feel good or it doesn't feel right or whatever, it's like, call us out in a gentle way. Say, hey, that didn't feel so good, or I want you to hug me, or I want you to hold me more, or I want you to whatever. We're learning through a million different stories and beliefs and societal programs to go against a lot of that stuff, to walk in purity. And you're trying to do the same. So it's not an easy process. So I love you. I love everybody, and I love the new men that are stepping in courage to do this. I love the women that are stepping in courage to receive this and to allow it, and to allow us to gain our confidence by having a few bumps along the road, because you're going to have some few bumps along the road as well. This is what the whole process is about. So I hope you can feel this, and it shows you that hope is not lost, that we're doing the work, but there's only a small proportion of us. And the more we talk about it, the more we bring it up, and the more we learn together, the quicker we can stand our ground and then teach this to other men and make this for our children and our daughters and sons, and make a world where the new masculine, the new feminine is possible for everyone. It's the excitement that I have, but there's a lot of work to do, and there's a lot of courage that's going to be needed. I met some men that have that courage, and it makes me feel less alone, that this crazy path is for a reason, and it's really key to what's coming. So I make this declaration to you that I'm here to work through this and to hold space for the divine feminine so that we can both find our balance and our grounding and our beauty and our safety inside of ourselves. And so we can have amazing experiences and share those and open and be free. So thank you for listening. You have a beautiful day.